Oh, you know it's off the chain.
All right, we want to thank our sponsors again. We are back. Off the Change podcast is back. All right, so Kristy, I want to thank you for these t-shirts that you brought us, for the Off the Change t-shirts. Everybody can see these are nice. So thank you for doing these for us. Or did you do them, or did somebody else do them?
No. So a girlfriend of mine did them. Now she started a business during the pandemic. So 2020 was a good year for her, and she's been prosperous. She's been great, and she's really creative. So check her out on Instagram. It's at custom_by_Michaela. Okay. It's also Custom by Michaela on Facebook. And then she has a website now. So it's custombymichaela.com. Check her out. She's got everything from t-shirts to custom apparel, personalization. Right. She even does these little cute baby shower boxes with the kid's name on it. Everything is custom for the kid. It's really, really cool. So she's got some great stuff. So definitely give her a shout. I got her business card right here.
So you already had it ready. See, I'm thinking it was you that did these, and now it's your friend.
No. And you know what? She's a woman, and it's a Black-owned business. So support local, everybody. She's located in Sacramento, so hit her up.
Thank you. All right, cool. So off the change moments. So every episode we will have these off the change moments, and I have two this time. Off the change moments to start off our first episode of 2021. Two of them. First one, off the change. He is really off the change. Mitch McConnell. So if anybody has not heard Mitch McConnell, we were all getting this surplus. We were all getting this money, the stimulus again that we got to pay back. But anyway, don't get me started on that. We got a stimulus. They're giving us $600. Now, I don't know who in 2021 up to even in 1995 could live on $600 alone. I do that at McDonald's. I got 5 kids. So anyway, Donald Trump of all people went to go give us $2,000. And Mitch McConnell blocked that in the Senate. Now, it's off the change because Donald Trump did crazy things for the last 4 years that they supported and backed. But when he tried to give us actually do something that made some sense and give us $2,000, he blocked that. So, Mitch McConnell, you are off the change officially. Other off the change moment, everybody knows I'm from Dayton, Ohio, OH10, OH to the dime. Ohio State Buckeyes just won yesterday against Clemson University. Now, off the change moment from this is not only that we won, we're going to the championship game against Alabama, roll over tide. That's what I say. Oh, yeah. But the head coach of Clemson, Dabo Swinney, when he was told he was going to have to play Ohio State University, the number 3 team in the country, he said, I don't know why they made it in because they're really only the 11th best team in the country. This is before he played us. Now he lost by 2 touchdowns. Dabo Swinney, your butt got kicked and you off the change. All right. So we're going in that. All right. Now I'm back. I'm back. My blood pressure's down. Episode 3. I am very excited about this episode because I have a young lady on interviewing today who I already, when I did this podcast before episode 1, I had my eye on this person because I see what she does in the community. I see her on Facebook. She's a huge presence. We have met. She's been at shows and so forth that I've done. But I always see her out there, and I think her story is an inspiration because I'm always looking for inspiration, especially now with 2020 being over, 2021. We don't know what's going to happen. We're going into this tiptoe, and I told everybody, don't touch nothing in the store in 2021. Just wait. We're going to see what happens. But anyway, today I have with us, Kristy. You're going to love this young lady. She's an author. She is a motivational speaker. She is an overcomer. She's my friend, Miss Tiffany Dionne. Give it up off the change, Miss Tiffany Dionne. How you doing today, Tiffany?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm off the change. Fantastic. How was your Christmas? How was your New Year's?
It was awesome. I can't complain. I stayed at home and went to sleep by 11:15 on New Year's Eve.
You made it for the East Coast.
Right.
All right. So, Kristy, you don't know Tiffany. This is my co-host, Kristy, and I'm sure you're gonna love her story as well. So for the listeners out there who don't know, and everybody who's watching, start at the beginning. Where are you from? And tell me a little bit about your story. Where are you from and what's your story?
Sorry, y'all.
That's okay.
We can hear you. We can hear you. Go ahead, beautiful.
All right. So I am from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Michigan in the building.
And
Michigan.
Midwest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to tell you a little bit about my story, I was kidnapped when I was 10 years old,
Wow.
and I was ultimately sex trafficked as a young adult. And my book, my story, Restore, is the story of me being taken and the journey to being found again.
Wow.
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 That's
Okay.
amazing. That's amazing. But yeah, wow.
I made
Yeah.
so you know what? I had an initial question because when I hear sex trafficking and I hear, we hear in the hood, especially around us black people, with sex trafficking, prostitution, and so forth. It's just not something we are sex trafficking is not something we hear, a term we hear right now. So
Right.
what's the difference between being sex trafficked and prostitution?
Okay, so good question. So sex trafficking is the commercial sale of someone by force, fraud, or coercion. Or if that person is a minor. So if they're under the age of 18, they can consent and they can technically, say, yes, I'll do that. I would like to do that. And it's still considered sex trafficking because the minor can't consent. Does that make sense?
Got it. It makes major sense. Okay, good. Thank you for clearing that up. All right. So what was your 10 years old? You were you're kidnapped. What happened? Tell me about from there. What was your daily life like? How did they, what were friends and family doing? What happened?
So friends and family were definitely searching for me. And I was taken by somebody that I knew. I was taken and I was gone for about a year. And so daily life was like trying to find housing and food and clothing. I went from like happy upper middle class little girl to poverty and fear.
Wow.
And I remember the third day that I was gone, I remember the person that I was with telling me not to tell anybody your name because they'll be looking for you. And so I felt responsible for our safety. And I took on that weight of not being found, right? I took on the weight of, I don't want the police to come and get me because they're looking for me and I'm scared because of what the other person said, right?
Yeah.
And so you can kind of manipulate a child with your words. So I was very fearful of being found, but I wanted to go home at the same time.
Wow.
So
wow.
I pretty much spent a year afraid.
So were you with other girls, other people, and
Nope.
just you? Now, when you initially were kidnapped, what did you think he wanted? What do you think they wanted? Was it?
Well, you got to read the story. It's very clear what the other person wanted, and it's very clear what their motive was. And again, I was a child, so the person that I was with was somebody that I loved and cared about, and so I wanted everybody to be okay. I wanted everybody to be happy. I didn't want anybody to be mad at me, and I wanted to be home with my brothers and my family. So I had all of these desires and no way to voice them or to have them executed. So I just bore the burden of just fear and pain and hurt.
Right. Why do you think they chose you? Oh, go ahead, Kristy. Go ahead.
Well, that's a good follow-up question. And then I wanted to kind of, and maybe, I don't want to ruin the book for anybody either. But how did that lifestyle go for a whole year, and then how you found your way back home?
Okay, so you got to read the book to see how I found my way back home.
Right.
But
because it sounds like a lot of trauma would have happened even in that 1 year span. So
absolutely. Because just imagine being gone for a couple of days, the fear that comes along with the uncertainty of am I going to see
I'm sorry, Tiffany, we cut out for a second.
Generally don't deal with trauma well. I don't know if you guys can hear me because
take that back.
Take that back about 35 seconds and cut out at the beginning of that segment.
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I don't know what the last thing you heard me say, but I don't know what was I saying? Okay, I said, Steph, I know you can probably co-sign to the fact that the Black community doesn't deal with trauma well, right?
Right, yes.
So I got back and everybody was very happy that I was back, but they were also dealing with their own trauma of me being gone, me being taken, and me being away for a year. And so they were very sad. They were very broken. I was very sad and very broken. And it was just like business as usual. Like I went to school and we just continued being a family, but I was hurting and I was very, very fearful, very, very scared, and didn't know what to do with all those emotions, and nobody really helped me.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, now I know, for instance, I'm really big on mental health now because I'm a grown man. But at the time in the Black community, we don't talk about mental health because we look at it as you either snitching or you telling, if you're telling somebody else, you're telling the problem, like you said.
Right. Don't go out here telling people our problems.
Don't go telling. My mama said, don't tell these white folks what we doing up in here. So
don't tell them our business.
And don't tell our business. And so that was and now I realize how catastrophic that is for a lot of men, especially Black men that were dealing with trauma, like myself, for instance. Because I love my therapist now and I love my therapy. But so did they take you to therapy? Did they initiate any help, or you just kind of got through that yourself?
Nope, just went to school and acted like it didn't happen.
Wow.
I have a picture of a couple of maybe like 2 months before I was taken, and then I have a picture of the day after I got back. Like my friends and neighbors and my father took me to Chuck E. Cheese, and they were really excited, and happy I was back. And so it was supposed to be like a celebratory time, and the look on my face, it looked like I had aged 15 years. I looked so hurt and so broken and so sad in a moment where I should be happy, I just look like a totally different child. And I don't fault anybody. You don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, mental health is very important when we deal with trauma.
Now, when you're in the moment of that, going through that year, and you kind of, like you said, they had they have manipulated you into thinking that if I tell somebody, I get us in trouble and so forth. But what are you thinking in those moments? Are you thinking I need to find a way out? Will I get out? Did you think you were going to just be in that situation forever? What were you thinking in your mind?
I was thinking that I would probably not see my family again. And if I did, I was just thinking that I probably wouldn't see my family again. And I recall, the person told me, don't say your name. Don't tell anybody your name. Right. And so I recall being outside. It's in my story. I was on my way to daycare, and I was skipping down the street going towards daycare, and I was whispering my name under my breath. And I was saying, my name is Tiffany. My name is Tiffany. My name is Tiffany. And I like in my mind, I'm like rebelling, right?
Yeah.
Against what I've been told. And I'm thinking about my best friend. I'm thinking about my brothers. I'm thinking about all these people that are in my life. And I'm thousands of miles away from home. And I'm thinking, like, if somebody's looking for me, maybe they'll hear me saying my name under my breath and they'll just come and take me. I didn't want to be totally rebellious and just, go in there and say, this is my name. But I'm thinking, like, how can I work this out to where maybe somebody will find me and take me away.
Yeah. So they try to keep some sense of normalcy and sent you to daycare in school. Wow. Yeah. That is so interesting.
Right.
Wow. Okay. So what was the time period, or the not without giving away too much because we want them to read the book Restore, what was the day or the time period when you knew I'm going to get out, or I think this is going to end for me. I'm going to be out.
I can't tell you without giving too much away.
Okay. All right. All right.
Gotcha.
All right. What's the first thing you did once the first thing you did, gaining some power back in your life once you did get out, or you got back?
Once I got back home.
Yeah.
The first night home, I walked in the house with my father, and I expected to be like very excited and happy, but I was just so sad and so overwhelmed by the year that I just went in the house and I cried, and my brother just came in the room and held me, and I cried, and I felt bad. I felt bad for crying because I felt like I should be happy, and I'm making everybody around me sad. So that's a horrible weight to bear as a child.
Right.
I don't understand all of these feelings. Why do I feel this way? And I just feel I just felt terrible all the time.
The weight of that. So why do you think? So why do you? Not just why do they think that they choose you, but what do you think predators like that? Why do you think they choose the persons they choose? So how do you think that works in their head?
I don't know.
You don't know. Just okay. All right. Okay. You want the psych? That's what CSI or Crime Fighters is around.
Right.
I think for me, from my family, since it was a relational crime, I think that everybody thinks that they're doing what's best.
Okay. Okay. All right. So interesting question going forward from that. And as you got older, you got into dating ages, you got into things. Did this experience make you? Because the experiences like that make us grow up too fast, right? And so, did that make you leery in relationships with men and dating, or does it still hold with you now? Is there things that are different for you that you think about?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I write often, and I'll share bits and pieces of my story often, and I'll always preface it by saying that I know that I see things through rose-colored glasses. I know that I see things through a lens of trauma. And even though I consider myself to be healed, I can't undo those experiences that I've had. Right. And so if I'm in a certain situation, like for instance, if I'm in a dating situation and I'm unsure, or I'm nervous, or I'm weary, or just not really sure of what's going on, like I have a support system around me. I have really close friends and stuff around me, and I'll run like normal stuff by them. Like, yo, does this sound right to you? Like, is this normal? I'm not really sure. Like, I'm ready to fight.
Right. He went to Del Taco and he rolled it through my window. Is that all right? Is that cool? Yeah, he just got a broke car, girl. He just
I've got I've got a little follow up to that too. Like, how do you? I mean, in those cases too, like, how else do you deal with that kind of trauma? I mean, I know it's situational too, because maybe something that happens triggers something that takes you back to that 10-year-old period that says, "Ooh, I'm not sure." Like, do you lock up? Do you get anxious? Do you?
Yeah, I do. Okay. And it could be a smell. It can be like a word, or anything that could be a trigger. And I know myself well enough to know, like, okay, I need to go. Like, luckily I'm self-employed, so I can pull away. I can go home. I can do what I need to do to deal with the trigger. And my friends are very aware. Okay. I just need to talk right now. Let me talk my way through this, or let me go take a nap, or whatever I need to do. And I've gone through counseling, and so all of those things have played a part in the healing process, and then still walking forward and knowing that something can trigger me. Being aware has been the most freeing, because there was a long time where I wasn't aware, and I'm like, dang, what is wrong with me? You just feel like something is wrong, and I don't know what it is, and why do I get scared, or why do all these things happen? And I don't know how to deal with it. Just having the knowledge of what trauma can do to your body, and your mind, that helped like 90% of the issue. Just knowing what to do.
Right.
So Go ahead, Kristy.
So at age 10, I mean, I would imagine that kind of trauma, that's not an experience of a normal 10-year-old child. And you don't know how to deal with that. There's no way to carry that weight, that burden, the hurt, the fear, everything that you went through for that year. I mean, even as an adult, without sometimes certain experiences, people don't know how to cope.
Yeah.
So,
So, Tiffany, you brought up something that was, you said something poignant. So I was, when I went through my experiences, I was adopted at age 7, but from birth to 7, that's when my abuse happened, all 3 forms: sexual, physical, and emotional abuse, right? And so I was probably 35, almost 40, until I could actually talk about it. Or I thought I could say stuff to people, especially people I was either dating or getting in a serious relationship or so forth with, and then into therapy. What age were you when you said, I can talk about these things, I want to talk about these things, and then you could write the book and things? What brought that on?
I would say right around 31.
Okay.
Right around 31. And even at that time when I started writing, I felt like God put it on my heart to start writing. And I started writing the day after the person who trafficked me was taken out of my house in handcuffs. And so, and literally the day after, and I'm like, Lord, is this what we should be doing right now? Like, isn't there other things that are more important?
Wow.
Right. And so I was writing foolishness, but I needed it. I needed to get out what I was thinking, what I was feeling. I remember writing something to the respect of, I remember writing, speaking. I felt like I was speaking to other women, and I was saying, I don't know about you, but abuse was my fault. And then I went on to explain why it was my fault, right? I would never tell somebody that today. Never in a million years would I say something like that. But that's what I was feeling at moment.
Yeah.
And I needed to see all those experiences on paper to understand what happened and where I was going and, you know, why all these things took place. And so, again, at that time, you know, I had been sexually assaulted several times as a teenager. And I didn't acknowledge that at the time. What I felt like was I was a fast girl. Right. And so
you deserved it. You did something to deserve it.
Yeah. Like I was just fast. Like, you know, I was out here in these streets. But how are you fast with a 21-year-old and you a teenager? You know, that doesn't make any sense. That's an adult.
They're
the responsible party. They know exactly what they're doing. They're preying on you.
Yeah, that's
right.
Okay.
But that was my mindset at 31 years old as an adult, that I was fast, and that's why those things happen. So when I started.
One second.
Okay.
Can we hear you? Can you hear us now?
Tiffany.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Now we can.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
So when you said when I start, that was the last thing we heard.
Okay. So I was saying when I started writing, I started at the relationship where I had been trafficked, and then was writing that story, that situation. And then I felt in my heart like, go back a little bit more. So I went back to like the previous relationship, and then go back a little bit more. And I landed all the way at 10, right?
Wow.
So I was like, yo, all this stuff fit together. Trauma played on trauma. And I literally, like, when I got taken, I came back so different, so hurt and so broken that it was easy to prey on me, right? And it's almost like you just have it stamped across your head, like, this is a victim right here. We can take advantage.
Wow, complex and multiple traumas. That's a whole nother story. All right, so a little bit making it lighter. So what do you now want? Your message, and you do motivational speaking and so forth, you speak to people. What do you kind of want to get across to young girls, women who may have been in the same circumstances? I know people now who even have gone through it, don't want to talk about it. What does that look like for you? What do you do now?
So I use my story as a vehicle to really inspire people to overcome those past traumas, those past experiences, whatever is holding you back. Like, so many people have been through so many things, and we just keep it moving. And we're, you know, grown-ups living in childhood experiences and not realizing that it's still affecting our lives. So
preach.
You know, let's acknowledge it. Let's say, yes, it happened, and man, that really hurt me, but how can I move forward from this? And I can't overcome this experience.
Good.
Yeah, good for you.
So 2020 just happened. So I know with everybody, we all experienced this COVID thing together. And when did your book come out? When did it come out? What year?
My first book came out in 2017. My second book came out, because it's a 4-part series. So my second book came out in July.
Nice. So
nice. Congrats.
So you know, when the movie comes out, I am an actor. So
I
know, so you know, and that's on IMDb, everything. But anyway, so this year, what was I know 2020 took a lot out of us. What were some good things that happened to you this past year, though?
This year, you know what? Despite COVID and despite, you know, having to be on lockdown for 3 months and everything, I have sold so many more books than I've sold in the previous years.
Nice.
And just really been able to share the story. Skip sales, just being able to share the story has been amazing.
That's right. Shout out. That's right. Now, where can people find your book and purchase it?
They can go to directly to my website, TiffanyDionne.com. So TiffanyDionne.com.
And I'm gonna have the link in our IG, and also you can when we give you the Gmail address of Off the Change at the end, you can actually email us, and we'll email you a link as well, because everybody should have this. Now, we got a couple of lighthearted questions for you. So if we ask everybody this question, so go ahead, Kristy, ask her the dinner question.
All right, Tiffany, if you could invite 3 people to dinner, it doesn't matter if they are alive or if they're dead, who would they be, and what would you be serving up?
3 people, any 3.
Yeah, you can. If you need a little time to think, go ahead and think about it, babe.
Tupac, Biggie.
Okay, I would say Michelle Obama.
Okay.
All right, that's a good one. Okay.
Yeah.
Idris L. Would I say his name right? Is it
Idris,
Idris?
you said it right.
That fine man. And let's see. We just go with Barack Obama too.
Okay,
Oh,
so
okay.
Michelle, Barack,
All right.
and Idris. Okay, you got two eye candy and Michelle.
Mhm.
I like it. And what you serving? What you
Okay.
serving?
So since my stimulus should be in the mail pretty soon, we're gonna do crab boil.
Crab boil.
Crab
Yeah,
boil.
we
All
gonna
right, I
Crab
like it.
boil. I love
We're
it.
gonna
I
have to
think
come over too, Tiffany.
Right.
I'm sure they would love that. Thank you. Thank you. Well, Tiffany, thank you so much for being our guest today. Thank you for coming on Off the Change podcast. I cannot wait for people to hear this in an upcoming episode. So any last words you want to say to everybody, or and you can also give your handles again for your book and your social media.
Sure. I would just love for you all to visit my website and keep in touch with me at author_Tiffany_Dionne on Instagram and Tiffany Dionne on Facebook. And of course, TiffanyDionne.com is my website. Thanks for having me, you guys.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank
Off the
you.
Change, y'all.
All
Thank
right.
y'all so much. So that is another episode. It's episode 3, the first one of 2021. That is your boy Steph Sanders and your host
Kristy Dionne.
That's us. That's us. You can find me at I am Steph Sanders everywhere. You can find Off the Change at gmail.com. So you can email us. You can find us at Off the Change on IG and Off the Change Pod 1 on Twitter. Kristy, anything else you want to tell them? Give me your handles again.
All right. You can find me on Instagram at Foodie Nong, FOODIENONG. And yes, I love to eat. And I'm also known as the Lumpia Queen.
That's right. We want to thank A Serious Production for being our engineer and producing today and every episode. Again, check us out next week. Every Wednesday is a podcast episode. Off the Change. Tell your friends, tell your family, share it with your friends, the enemy, anybody you want to. Church folk, listen, everybody. Get in here and get off the change, y'all. See y'all later. Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.